Beautiful fish. It's extremely clear. A little bit tangled up. Healthy brown. There you are, big boy. I got you again. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're viewing this. It's A-Dubs. I'm back here with today's little segment, how to successfully fish for trout. Number one on the list is going to be temperature. You need to pay attention to it. Trout really like 40 to 50 degree water. That's when they're most active. That's when they're feeding up. That's just their zone. Okay. If you are looking at summer weather and your streams and creeks are at 70 degrees or above, do not fish for trout. A, they're gonna be highly lethargic. They're not apt to bite. B, you're going to notice that they don't have a whole lot of fight in them because the dissolved oxygen levels have gone down. Okay, so warmer water holds less oxygen, which makes fighting a fish after you hook it extremely dangerous for the fish. If you're bringing it home and eating it, or you're going to mount it because it's a large one, fine. If you're going to dispatch the fish, that's okay. If you're catch and release, like I am, above 70 is a no-no, okay? That's rule number one. Unless you're fishing in shade. Shade can provide 5 to 15 degrees cooler water temperatures than the temperature of the water surrounding it. So as you can see, this little honey hole of a spot, the bridge, is where all the trout were hiding. Nice colors on this one. That is a perfect hook set too, right in the top of the mouth, guys. That's what we come for. That's what we like to see. All right. Rule number 2 of fishing for trout successfully. Look for areas where slow current meets fast current. In the fishing community, we call these seams, right? If they run lengthwise. But let's not just limit that to seams, because there are some areas, like in a few of the clips here, where I was able to catch trout because the current was really fast and then it kind of shallowed out and slowed down. And why these work is because trout are feeding on what the current's bringing down. So they like to hang just outside this fast current, pop in, grab a bite, and then pop out. Okay, so that's part 2. Look for fast meets slow current. I could not have picked a more ideal spot. You can see the current rushing kind of in the middle where the white water is, and then it kind of shallows out and slows down. This is the ideal spot for trout to hang out. Perfect. Picturesque. This is what you want to look for. Plenty of cover too. Lots of rocks.
Here we go. And as you can see, we hooked one.
You're not. We're gonna do it right this time. Oh, hey, settle down. You are a fighter. Feisty young guy. Play a bit. I'll come to you. Get in there. Thank you. Number 3, know your baits. Okay? Inline spinners are a great one for trout. I prefer using the Rooster Tails brand. One of the famous fish on the channel, Charlie the Brown, he will only eat those, and I find that the best retrieve on an inline spinner is just fast enough for the blade to get spinning. Okay, you want that thing to kind of slow stroll in. Too fast, they might not give chase. Too slow, your blade's not going to spin. It's going to look like garbage just sitting there, and it'll also start sinking. You kind of want to play the middle water column with your inline spinners. Other baits that I like to use are small minnow jerk baits. My brand of preference is Megabass. The Great Hunting line is phenomenal. They have a flat side minnow for subdued action. They have a humpback for slightly exaggerated action, and they have the butterfly, which is just the wildest action you can think of. I love using the butterfly because it has more roll when you jerk it, so it sends more flash. Usually the sides of the baits have bright colors or reflectiveness to them, so when you get that kind of roll, it sends out a flash too. Those are all great. Now, if you are targeting stocked trout that are not stream trout, okay, so trout that are in rivers and creeks tend to learn to feed on normal food relatively quickly, but lake trout, typically I've found, at least in my area, that the lake trout the stocked ones are fed with pellets. So you'll want to go salmon egg, power bait, something along those lines, something that's gonna mimic what they're used to, those round little pellets. Okay, so that was the third tip: using your baits correctly, imparting the right action on them, and choosing which baits to use. All right. Okay.
So here we had a catch of Charlie the Brown trout, who only preferred inline spinners, and it took a whole lot of fishing to realize this. But as you can see, pretty successful. I've caught this fish like 4 or 5 times now, and you know, he just prefers inline spinners. The Megabass minnows will catch tons of other trout, but for some reason Charlie here loves the inline spinners.
Okay, so number 4 is don't write off an area just because it doesn't seem ideal to you. Technically, if the water's cold enough, trout can live in water that is just deep enough to cover their backs. If you have yearlings that you're targeting, smaller ones, you can fish them in like 3 or 4 inches of water. You will find them there, believe it or not. okay? You know, and this kind of goes in the rule 2, which is where you should be looking for them. But also, all fish kind of prefer structure. For trout, it's more like rocks and you know, things that you would find naturally. They don't, I mean, they will go near bridges in certain temperatures for shade, but they're not really ones for dock pilings. They're more natural structures, so think rocks, downed trees, stuff of that nature. And you know, depth kind of, if you've got slow current all around you, then you need to go deeper. Conversely, if you have fast current, it doesn't have to be that deep, and you'll find them behind rocks, because rocks create slower current. They create little pockets around the rocks, so you might find trout there. So that's the 4th one.
So here we have a clip of my son and I fishing from the father and son video. By all means, I didn't think we were going to catch anything here. It was a freshly stocked area, you know, miles upstream and downstream. There's like absolutely no cover here. Typically, this is a pretty shallow area. So, you know, it went against all rules, but as you'll see, my son was pretty successful here. He caught a rainbow, you know, and this is silty stuff. There's absolutely no cover for the fish. There's minimal shade,
All right, buddy, I'm
but
coming.
as you're seeing right now,
Really
he did it. So,
Lucky
you know, don't immediately write every scenario off. If you know there's fish in the area, they might just be passing through.
All right, you want to take its hook, the hook out its mouth? Oh, he's a tiny guy. Oh, it's a rainbow.
My second fish of my life.
Yep. All right. Oh, that hook is barely on too. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, he jumped
I'm
off.
gonna hold him.
We gotta put him back. He's getting covered in mud.
Oh.
The 5th and last rule for successful trout fishing. Number 5 is, oh yes, time of day. There we go. That's number 5. So yeah, trout normally like to feed early morning and early evening. So between 5 to 8 a.m. is kind of the sweet spot that I found for my area. And conversing with other people through forums, I've definitely, they would all tend to agree that between 5 and 8 a.m. is a good time, especially with brown trout, because brown trout only typically feed once or twice a day. So if you're outside of that window and you're targeting brown, you are probably not going to get it unless you piss them off. I've pissed off a few brown trout. You have to fish for like an hour straight, know that the brown trout is there and that they're not gonna go, you know, a few hundred feet up or downstream. There's only isolated incidents really where you can get brown trout to bite outside of their feeding window. And then on the back end of that, 5 to 7 p.m. Early evening, once that sun starts dipping down, you start seeing the temperatures drop maybe 5 or 10 degrees. They really get that second wind. They get revitalized, so they'll start to be more apt to bite. And I have a clip of me doing some early morning fishing here. I had to get up at like 4:45 and then drive a half hour, but we got it. So I hope you enjoy the clips on this one. And yeah, I think we'll round it out with this last trout catch. And that'll do it for this episode. And until the next one, toss the tiny stuff, catch the big stuff. A-Dubs out. Because of the topography here with all the rocks. Yeah, like that. There we go. Just a little guy. Of course, I got my freaking packed them into me. Chill, dude. Chill, dude. Chill, dude. There we go. Oh, you got me tangled hard in here on my net. There it goes. Gone, baby, gone.